Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and we're going to another top 10 list. We are counting down the top 10 WWE ladder matches. Now, I had this slated for this month, several months ago, when I obviously thought that TLC would be happening in December. Then, of course, they changed course and they said the hell with TLC, and our December pay-per-view would actually be January 1st, day one. Which I agree with them. You know, TLC, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, they should not be pay-per-views. They should be matches that would happen on a pay-per-view, but they shouldn't be all in all pay-per-views. And sometimes it is forced. All right, it is forced uh, into doing something that maybe it doesn't necessarily need to happen. You know, you don't need to have a ladder match or a TLC match or a tables match or whatever, right? Only you need is just, you know, just to have the match. So I'm very very cool with them doing away with that. Um, but like I was saying before, I had this. I said I was gonna do the ladder matches for in honor of the TLC pay-per-view in December. But since it went away, I'm still gonna do them though. And why not? We're gonna count them down. The top 10 WWE ladder matches. Let's get started. Number 10, Y2J versus Chris Benoit in the 2001 Royal Rumble. This was the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship that on a pay-per-view that was just incredible. It was incredible. We had the Triple H Kurt Angle match, like one of the first times a heel versus heel that happened on pay-per-view. We had um, we had the 2001 Royal Rumble itself, which was awesome. Drew Carey was in that one, and we had other extremely good matches. I think we also had that was the time when China, we had the China Ivory match, but China kind of um, did the spot where she hurt her neck or something like that. So all of that interesting, but the ladder match from the show was very very awesome, very very good. Spot of the show was Chris Benoit doing the diving headbutt and Chris Jericho just cracking him, treating the head with a chair. You won't see that nowadays anywhere. You won't see that. With concussions and everything, we know how that could be. But extremely great match, one of a kind. Those two just had tremendous success. Um, and their rivalry went on for months. You guys remember? I think I did the top 10 SummerSlam matches a while back, and they were on this list for having a SummerSlam match. So it's a few lasted until then. Truly awesome. One of the all-time greats. Y2J versus Chris Benoit from the Royal Rumble 2001. Number 9, TLC 3. This is the forgotten TLC for two reasons. One, it was on an episode of SmackDown, so it's televised and um it's you know commercials in it and things like that. Uh, but another part of it is because it involves Chris Benoit, and WWE are trying have, without question, not wanting to promote anything that involves Chris Benoit in it. That's why we don't get a lot of. And that's why when every time the Royal Rumble comes around, they talk about two people entering from number one, but they only show Shawn Michaels. They only show Shawn Michaels. Now there's three with Edge, so they can show Michaels and Edge, but and they say that only two people enter from number one, we know the reason why. But this one is the forgotten TLC, but it was incredible. It was the Hartleys. But listening to a little bit more much Jim Cornette, he calls the Young Bucks the Hartley Boys. But it's the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, and Y2J and Chris Benoit. I just talked about their ladder match at Royal Rumble and their feud they had all through late from SummerSlam of 2000 up until that time. Well, at some point they became partners. And on that episode of Monday Night Raw in June, when Triple H tore his hamstring, they beat Al Austin and Triple H to become the new tag team champions. Um, and so the next Friday, I believe, it was actually that next Friday, was this TLC 3 match, and it was absolutely incredible. Spots were great. The matches was awesome. It was just another great, you know, episode showing from the three guys, and Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho added stuff to it, which was awesome and great themselves. So absolutely loved it. Again, like I said, it is forgotten, but I'm almost certain that you can go back and find it on Peacock or the network, whatever, wherever you live, wherever you're talking about. I'm sure you can go back and find it, and you need to watch it if you have not seen it. It is an all-time great. Number 9 on the top 10 WE ladder matches, TLC 3. Number 8, the NXT North American ladder match. Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, Adam Cole, all fought for the North American Championship. And boy, what a hell of a match it was. Absolutely incredible. These men put on a show unlike any other that night. And we had a winner of the new North American Championship. I believe Adam Cole won that. I believe he was the first North American champion. And he did, and it was fantastic. What an incredible match to behold. One of the greats of all time. And this was before Lars Sullivan was, what he was, what he was. You can imagine. You thought, oh man, he's going to be something special, you know. Killian Dane was in that, and he was a big man moving around, jumping on ladders and things like that. Dream at one point got injured, but he came back and finished the match. This is a spectacular showing from all of these guys. Number 8 on the greatest ladder matches of all time, top 10, the North American ladder match in NXT. Number 7, the Triangle ladder match from WrestleMania 2000. I want to say WrestleMania 20. No, WrestleMania 2000. This was the first of its kind. We had the ladder match just about 3 or 4 months ago at the No Mercy pay-per-view, where Edge and Christian had took on the Hardys, in the Terry Invitational Tournament. So we had that, and then when the Dudleys came in soon after that, and they started in with the Hardys and Edge and Christian, and then we had the tables match at the Royal Rumble 2000 between Hardys and the Dudleys, and then that all led to the Triangle ladder match at WrestleMania 2000 between these three teams, and it's the first time we realized that the chemistry these teams had, it was incredible, and it was fun to watch. Just the stuff that they did was amazing. The stuff that they went through, you could just tell that these three teams wanted to go out there and put on a show and get over, and that's exactly what they did. Nothing could stop these three teams from being what it is, and that's why when people say, like WWE did a thing where they had the New Day as being the best tag team ever, and a whole bunch of idiots think that for some reason the Young Bucks are like the greatest tag team ever. Like the Young Bucks are nowhere near anything near a list of the greatest tag teams of all time, and let alone better than any of these three. And the New Day, good for them. They 11-time tag team champions. They hold the record for the most days as tag team champion in WWE. The greatest tags 1, 2, and 3 are the Hartleys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. It just depends on personally what you like. That's all it is. It depends on what you like. And it started here in this triangle match, WrestleMania 2000. The triangle ladder match, number 7 on the list of the top 10 WWE ladder matches of all time. One of the 3 all-time great tag teams: the Hardys, the Dudleys, and the Jericho. Number 6, Triple H and The Rock from SummerSlam 1999. Is it 99, 98? No, actually, SummerSlam 98. I believe that was one. Because they had a rivalry throughout 98. The Nation versus DX. And in particular, Triple H versus Rock. They did everything. Triple H was the European champion. The Rock was the Intercontinental champion. They had a match that fully loaded, 2 out of 3 falls that went to a time limit draw. Yeah, I think that might have been the last time they did time limits in WWE. But so they did. So yeah, it was, and this was the culmination of it. This was the culmination. They saw the writing on the wall with The Rock, and they saw that The Rock was going to be an absolute future star in the business, and it would not be. It would be 2 months later, right at Survivor Series '98, when we saw the absolute crowning of The Rock, becoming the WWE champion, becoming the corporate champion. They knew what they wanted, and they knew what they were going to do. And it took Triple H a little bit longer to get to that championship. He got the championship a year later, in '99. But Triple H was absolutely, just totally um, ready for that spotlight, ready for that upgrade of being the Intercontinental Champion. And he did an absolute incredible job. Both him and Rock did great in that match. Some help. Mark Henry was there, and China was there to be their seconds. But yeah, it's an incredible match. Triple H ends up winning, becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. And of course, like I said, The Rock went on to bigger and better things, becoming the WWE Champion. So, one of the all-time greats. You gotta love it. Number 6 on the top 10 ladder matches. Triple H versus The Rock at the SummerSlam in '98. Number 5, I mentioned it earlier, the match that started it all for the tag team ladder matches and everything like that. The Hardys, just Edge and Christian from No Mercy 1999. You know, when this was something that you just like it's unbelievable. You think about, go back and think about it, because this seems like it was just like a throwaway feud, throwaway match at the time, right? It was just something that was just supposed to just to be on the card, just to be on the card. But then they went out and they put on a show, an absolutely epic show, doing things that we would come to see the seesaw spot with ladders and just everything, using multiple ladders. I think this is really one of the, they started using multiple ladders after the Razor HBK second one, but no, this was incredible. And these two undermined, and after match, the Hardy Boys won the match, and afterwards, when Edge and Christian was in the ring, they got a standing ovation. Standing ovation. And Edge and Christian, they told the story about how when they came back in the back, Mick Foley walked up to him and said, "You guys are now superstars," because everything like that. And then the next night on Monday Night Raw, they got a standing ovation again from the crowd, because it was incredible. This is one of the unbelievable things you could ever see, and it turned those into, again, like I said, into incredible things. Then, like I mentioned earlier, the Dudleys came in, and the rest has been history. So number 5 on the list, the top 10 ladder match in WWE history: Hardys versus Edge at No Mercy 1999. Number 4, first TLC from SummerSlam 2000. So throughout the year of 2000, we had the tables match at Royal Rumble 2000. Then we go to the ladder match. So we had the ladder match with the Hardys, so the Hardys used the ladders. Dudleys had the tables. But at some point during the year 2000, the Edge and Christian started using chairs, and they started doing the concerto. They started doing the concerto, and so at one point, Mick Foley, who was the commissioner, said, "Let's go ahead and let's incorporate all of these things into a match. The tables, the ladders, and the chairs. Oh my!" It's at SummerSlam, and it was first it was liking, seeing it, and boy, it was just another terrific match from these three, and man, it's just. I mean, how many times can I say the chemistry between these three and the things that they would do and how they rarely screwed up anything. They rarely. I don't ever think there was really an injury. I think maybe one. I think in your TLC 2, I think there was maybe Matt Hardy needs some stitches, but otherwise it was just almost incredible what these guys did. Funny story. I remember. Edge tells about this. He thought that since it was in North Carolina, then Hardy Boys are from North Carolina. The Hardy Boys should have went over instead of they. But yeah, they had Edge and Christian go over. And funny thing about it, the Triangle Ladder match, TLC 1 and TLC 2, Edge and Christian won. The only TLC that involved those three teams that they didn't win was TLC 3. That was won by Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. Edge and Christian were like the kings of the TLC match. But yeah, they went out again and they just blew away the competition, stole the show, whatever you want to say, and it was incredible. From just love it, incredible. TLC 1 at SummerSlam 2000 is number 4 on the list of the top 10 WWE ladder matches. Number 3, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. Ladder match from SummerSlam 1995. 17 months in the making. After their incredible ladder match at WrestleMania 10, they came back. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Shawn Michaels versus Sid at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. Storyline-wise, though, what they said was that Grim Monsoon had took over as president after the passing of Jack Tunney, and he said that he wanted to do things a little bit differently, and he wanted to give fans some more, give fans maybe what they wanted or whatever else he said like that. But the shoot reason was because that the tickets were not selling as good as they would have liked. So they thought maybe they put on Razor versus Shawn and the ladder match that would sell more tickets. It possibly worked. And of course, this was great. This was, at least on television-wise, the second ladder match we'd ever seen. The first one was on WrestleMania 10, but as many people would tell you, the lost ladder match, the first ladder match was between Brett and I believe Shawn. And it was like it was probably about several. It was like in '92, maybe '92. No, maybe '93. I can't remember when it was. But they had a ladder match back in the past that Brett was, because he had ladder matches in the Calgary Stampede. So he told Vince about it. They tried it on the Indies and not the Indies, but on the on the house show circuit, and I think they had it one time, and it was pretty good. So then they decided to use it for WrestleMania 1, but back to SummerSlam 1999, they decided to go against Shawn and Razor for the ladder match 2. Story being that Shawn Michaels had to live with losing that match 17 months ago, and it was now time for him to get his revenge. And Razor was like, I beat you once, I beat you again." And it was incredible. These were it was babyface versus babyface, both were babyfaces at the time, and it was an incredible show. It was as incredible. It was the first time that we had saw another ladder being brought into the into the ring. We used two ladders, and great athleticism for Shawn Michaels, Gris galore, and he he won the Intercontinental title. He got his win back from Razor, and just a great showing. As anytime two members of the clique got together, they were going to show out, and they did. So the number 3 WWE ladder match of all time: Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, SummerSlam 1999. Number 2, TLC2 from WrestleMania 17. So TLC 1 happens SummerSlam of 2000. Then they do TLC 2 at WrestleMania. But this time it's like different. It's just not the 3 tag teams. Rhino comes in from ECW, being, paired with his real life friends of Edge and Christian. Spike Dudley comes in, paired with his kayfabe brothers of Devon and Bubba Ray of the Dudley Boys. And of course, Team Extreme has Lita. They all get involved. Lita throws a hellacious chair shot onto Spike Dudley. Matches just around Lord. There's great spots with everything, but the spot that's shown all the time, as we now know, is the spear from Edge to Jeff Hardy off the ladder, dozens of heights away. And it didn't go as planned, because what Jeff wanted to do is Jeff wanted to walk the ladders and then grab the title. He couldn't get it. In practice, it never worked. He said, "Oh, it'll work it'll work during the show." Still didn't work, but he got to it, and they made a great choice out of it, and it was just incredible. Just like how, and it seems like in all of these ladder matches there is a signature spot that you can see. I think in the TLC 1, there's a spot where Matt Hardy and Devon Dudley are pushed off and they're thrown through tables at ringside. And like in the triangle ladder match, Jeff Hardy climbs to the top and he does a swanton onto Bubba Ray through the table. And in this one, that's the spot where it's Edge spearing Jeff Hardy off of the ladder. Incredible. And like I mentioned earlier, once again, Edge and Christian won. So just awesome, really good. Just one of the many matches that happened on perhaps the greatest pay-per-view of all time, WrestleMania 17. Incredible. Nothing else is better. You know better, JR. Nothing else is ever better than that. At least from no other company. Maybe you want to say Canadian Stampede was good. Was it just as good, if not better than that? But nothing any other company has done will ever compare to WrestleMania 17. And then one of the stars of that show was TLC 2. That's why it's top 10. It is number 2 on my top 10 WWE ladder matches list. And of course, the number 1 ladder match in the history of WWE is the original, as I mentioned it earlier, HBK versus Razor, WrestleMania 10. As much as I enjoy the TLCs, as much as I enjoy the North American ladder matches, I think the best ladder matches are not are ladder matches that are one-on-one and that are wrestling matches that just involve a ladder, right? Because the TLCs, even the North American ladder match, the Triangle ladder match, the Hardys versus Edge from No Mercy 99. These are spot fests. These are things where they are, all the Money in the Bank ladder matches. These are matches where they are doing spots, and and they're doing spot, and the spot, then one spot leads to the next spot, leads to the next spot. It's not necessarily that they are having a wrestling match that involves a ladder. And I think those are the best ones. And there's been nothing better than HBK versus Razor Ramon from WrestleMania 10. First of its kind. It's incredible, and it's the things that were done in that match that you just never saw. And they were using the ladder as a weapon. And being thrown them into ladders and using the ladder and to sweep the leg and everything like that, using the ladder to anything like they weren't doing things. They were setting up ladders, but it was being used as a weapon. They were throwing you into the ladder, or you were being pushed off the ladder, or something like that. And what else could you say, man? It's just, it still holds up today. Holds up today. And again, 2 Click members going out there having fun. They also overran time. They also overran time. When they got backstage, Macho Man told them, "Hey, ooh yeah, you guys overran. Thanks a lot, brother." And the 10 it was supposed to be a 10-man tag. It got cut. It probably got cut because of that. In fact, they overran time, but back then, they didn't care. They wasn't gonna care. Um, so, but it's still the best ladder match of all time, best one in WWE, and it's incredible. And I don't think it's. I think in this day and age, it's not going to be able to, because like I said, these days they want to do spot fest. They want to do all those things. You rarely get a one-on-one ladder match, and when you do, it just as good as they can be. It's just not going to be anything better than Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon from WrestleMania 10, and that's why it is the greatest WWE ladder match of all time. All right, y'all. So that's it. That's my list of the top 10 WWE ladder matches of all time. Put your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about my list. Do you think I missed any? Let me know down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.